Yo, what up, brothers? What's up? It's the Director. Chargers fans, good evening, good afternoon. We're going to be wrapping up our Get to Know Your Rivals, your Chargers Rivals series with the Las Vegas Raiders today. If you guys want to check out my breakdowns of the Chiefs and the Broncos, you can find that, the past couple of days of my uploads. I'll put a link in the description for you guys as well. But yeah, pretty important to get to know who you're facing, 6 times this upcoming season in the 2020 year. Honestly, the Chargers, we're kind of a wild card this year. We could definitely end up, contending for first, second place, or we could end up on the bottom. And I think a lot of it has to do with how we fare against our division rivals this year. And I think, honestly, we got a pretty good shot at it. Before we start with this video, guys, hit us up with a like and sub if you do enjoy this Chargers content. Small amount of time you guys take to hit the like, sub, and bell notification helps me out a lot. Let's get into this video breaking down the Vegas Raiders. All right, guys, we're going to be facing the Raiders Week 9. Raiders at Chargers, so it's going to be a bit into the season before we face this opponent, and then week 15, just 6 weeks later, in Vegas at that time. So who are the players that we should pay attention to? What are my odds against each one of these guys and their matchups? Let's start with the quarterback position in the, maybe it's Derek Carr, maybe it's Maybelline quarterback. Let's take a look at Derek Carr as a quarterback. So Carr, I feel like, was a pretty good QB for a couple of seasons. And then something happened. He got thumped by Joey Bosa. He got thumped by Von Miller. He got thumped by, Chris Jones. It doesn't feel like he takes a lot of chances out there on the gridiron anymore. I feel like he's a bit conservative now. And I feel like the Raiders, they don't want to be that, but they're kind of stuck with Derek Carr at the time. Now, the wild card in this whole equation right now is Marcus Mariota. I think the Raiders might want another Ryan Tannehill story, but this time with Oregon quarterback Marcus Mariota, which honestly, I don't see that as a bad strategy. I feel like if there's still something with Marcus Mariota, maybe he was in the wrong, scheme, maybe. So I don't know, maybe if they can unlock the potential of Marcus Mariota, I am a little bit concerned. But if it's not gonna concern me this year, because if they end up starting him at whatever point, I don't know if he's gonna be ready to carry the Raiders. The Raiders have a lot of issues, both on offense and defense, especially when it comes to game management. So I don't know, man. But Derek Carr being the main starter this year, definitely need to respect him. He has more weapons this year. He's a decent decision maker. He just doesn't take a lot of risks. And I think you could say that about the Chargers this year too with our quarterback Tyrod Taylor. So gonna be an interesting matchup. Honestly though, I think Carr's gonna have his hands full with our pass rushers. So you never know. Next up, let's move on to their halfback Josh Jacobs. Jacobs, a rookie last year, really did impress. I think he was definitely one of the most impressive, offensive rookies of the year. And he's definitely somebody that the Chargers, I think, are better prepared for this year. You talk about Josh Jacobs carving up the Chargers last year. I think the absence of a true nose tackle, a true one technique nose tackle, definitely helped Josh Jacobs carve up the Chargers. And I think now that we've got a presence like Linval Joseph, I think it's gonna be a lot harder for Josh Jacobs to carve us up. So I don't know, man. I really like it. I like the matchup a little bit. I think the Chargers are better prepared. He's gonna have to worry about guys like Kenneth Murray. So I don't know, man. Josh Jacobs still something you got to pay attention to, but I'm not as worried as I was last year with the run defense, if that makes sense. All right, guys, let's move on to the wide receiver situation. Now, this is where things are a little bit different this year, and it's because the Raiders decided to go out and get wide receiver Henry Ruggs III. A lot of people see him like maybe another Tyreek Hill because, yes, he is very fast. How fast? Very fast. Fast enough to be compared to Tyreek Hill. The issue is, again, you've got this quarterback in Derek Carr who doesn't like to take a lot of risk downfield. So how much are you going to utilize this guy? Well, in a scheme like the Raiders, I see a lot of short passes being turned into, lots of yards after the catch. And that can be a problem with somebody like Tyreek Hill, not Tyreek Hill, but Henry Ruggs III. The big thing is, a lot of people do think that maybe the Raiders did reach a little bit. You still had, talents like Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, in that draft. And, to take Henry Ruggs III, that's you've got, if you can get a Tyreek Hill, that's a great pick. But at the same time, he still has his issues as a receiver. In catching and stuff like that, maybe a little bit of route running too. And against the Chargers secondary, he may struggle a little bit as well. I mean, you're going to be talking about matchups with Casey Hayward, Chris Harris Jr., Desmond King even. I think it's a lot to ask for a rookie wide receiver, but still got to pay attention to his speed. Do not let him loose on our in the secondary, because at the same time, want to make sure he's contained, that he doesn't gain the confidence of coming up with a lot of catches versus the Chargers, and limit those opportunities for yards after the catch. Next up, Tyrell Williams. We all know who Tyrell is. He was with the Chargers for a while. Very good wide receiver. I think, honestly, he had more success in LA with Phillip Rivers, just because, he's more that deep threat kind of guy. Again, kind of maybe a scheme non-fit with Derek Carr. I don't know, dudes. I feel like he's definitely more of a threat in a different kind of offense. Still got to pay attention to him. He's a decent wide receiver last year. Maybe he does get free more with an opposite of Henry Ruggs III on the other side now, but, he's definitely good. Again, the matchups, though, with our corners, I don't know how much room he's going to get to operate. Next up is Hunter Renfro, underrated Las Vegas Raider. Now, I'll say that, bluntly, completely. I do think that he's got a lot of talent out there in the slot. Maybe a little bit of Keenan Allen, maybe a little bit of Fred Biletnikoff in him. So he's a good wide receiver, definitely one of those guys that you can rely on in third down situations. And, I would definitely put somebody like Chris Harris on this guy, not worry so much about the rookie wide receiver on the other side there. Next up, let's take a look at their probably main weapon on offense, Darren Waller. Oh boy, this guy's really good. This guy's really good. You guys remember Hard Knocks last year? All the players are like, oh my God, the one underrated guy on this offense right now nobody's talking about is Darren Waller, and he absolutely went out there and proved it. Very, very good tight end. We have kind of another story similar to him in our offense this year in Donald Parham, so keep that in mind. I'll revisit that in a different video. But what to worry about with Darren Waller? Speed and size. He's very, very, and hands too. So he's pretty much, one of the ideal tight ends to have in the league this year in the modern day NFL offenses. But at the same time, we've got the perfect counter to this guy. That's why I love the Chargers defense so much. Derwin James is the perfect kind of player you match up against a guy like Darren Waller. And I'm pretty confident that he can limit him, make sure he doesn't explode like he has seen in the past couple, in this last season. I do feel confident in it. It's still somebody you have to keep an eye on. Make sure you don't line him up against our linebackers too often, because I do think he'll win that matchup, but still a pretty decent offensive weapon for them. Taking a look at their offensive line, Colton Miller. I love this guy. You know why I love this guy? Because this is the guy that the Raiders passed up on Derwin James for. They went and got their left tackle, who honestly, he's okay. He's not great. He's not, I don't think he's developing to what they were hoping they would get in him, but still, the jury's still out on him because he's got more time. He needs to develop a little bit longer. Still not a bad left tackle. He's going to have to worry about guys like, Melvin Ingram. Again, I think we got a good track record against the Raiders. We definitely thumped Derek Carr quite a bit, especially Joey Bosa on the other side. But Colton Miller, I'm not too concerned about. Richie Incognito, definitely, he's got the Gandalf, the white kind of vibe with me right now. He's an old dude, man. He came back, and I feel like he still has something left in the tank, but he's so old, man. Like we've been seeing the decline. He had a decent year last year, but at the same time, he's going to be going up against different defensive linemen for the Chargers, Linval Joseph, and then obviously you got Melvin Ingram back there. So I don't know, man. He's okay. He's not great. Next up is center Rodney Hudson. He's pretty good. He's a pretty good, I would say maybe even underrated center in the NFL. So, but again, he's going to have his hands full with our new defensive tackle, Linval Joseph. So not bad. Going to move it on a little bit quicker here, guys, so the video isn't forever long. Gabe Jackson, right guard, decent, all right. Going to have to be worrying about, sharing responsibilities between Jerry Tillery and Joey Bosa. So I'm going to take Bosa, in that matchup every single time. And then Trent Brown, they paid up the butt to get this guy from New England, and I feel like he works better in New England than he does with the Raiders. So I don't know, man. Again, against Joey Bosa, I will take the Bosa side of that every single time again. Taking a look at the defense here real quick, guys. The defense, the Raiders have a couple of strong spots, but for the most part, they're pretty vulnerable. Starting at right end, Clelin Ferrell, out of Clemson, kind of a huge reach. Maybe the reach of the draft last year. Maybe still some untapped potential there. He's going to be going up against, right end, so he'll be up against our left tackle, Trey Pipkins. I don't know, man. Maybe that is a mismatch for us. I have maybe worry a little bit more about Clelin Ferrell this year, but I don't know, man. Still kind of waiting to see if Clelin Ferrell blossoms into what they hope he would be. Defensive tackle Maurice Hurst. I'm actually quite high on Maurice Hurst. I think he's going to have a good career. I think he's a great player. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Aaron Donald a little bit. Till we see it, though, jury is still out. And he's good, but he's not like that level of good quite yet. Going up against, maybe guys like Forrest Lamp and Mike Pouncey. So he's all right. Not terribly concerned about him. Malik Collins, however, is kind of a wild card for me coming in from Dallas. He's good. He had a lot of hype behind him when he was drafted. Never quite met his potential. Hopefully a change of scenery doesn't untap that potential in him. Kind of a wait and see prospect there. And then Max Crosby, which funny enough outperformed Clelin Ferrell, first round pick. And this guy's been an absolute beast. He put up I think double digit sacks last year in his rookie season. He'll be going up against Brian Bulaga though, who's a very good pass protector right tackle. So again, kind of an interesting matchup right there. It'll be fun to watch. But again, Max Crosby, somebody to pay attention to. Taking a look at the linebackers, starting with right outside linebacker, Nicholas Morrow. He's all right. Honestly, I don't know much about him because he's not a huge playmaker out there. So again, on the right side, maybe we're okay. I don't know. I think our offensive line on that side's, maybe a little bit more exposed, but I don't know, man. We'll see. The one guy I am worried about is Corey Littleton. Definitely a really good player coming out of LA with the Rams. He's good, but you also see a lot of the Raiders pick up a lot of guys that were good in another system and then maybe don't perform in another system, in their system. So I kind of have a feeling with Corey Littleton that that's going to be the case. He's still a really good player. I'm sure he's going to contribute, but I don't think he's going to be what he was with the LA Rams. So pay attention to him. I would say run it against him. I would say pass it against him. Test him early to see what he's got. And I'm sure we'll see, a lot of that early with his other matchups earlier in the season. We'll get to know what he's like with the Raiders. And then on the left side, Nick Kwiatkowski, I think is his name, coming from the Bears. I know this guy had a pretty decent season, but again, he was in the Bears system. The Bears defense is really good. The Bears know defense very, very well. The Raiders, maybe not so much. So I don't know. Again, I think their linebackers or somebody is kind of a wait and see. Let's see how they perform in the Raiders system because there's a lot of new faces there and you don't even know. And then at the cornerbacks, he's got his teammate coming with him and Prince Amukamara. Prince Amukamara, definitely older. He still has something in the tank. Matching up against Keenan Allen though, I would say Keenan wins that matchup, 70% of the time, 75% of the time. Again, very talented, but at the same time, very aged, a little long in the tooth. Next cornerback looking at here is going to be Damon Arnett. All right, rookie cornerback. This guy likely going up against Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Maybe put him in the slot even. I don't know, man. Like maybe even against KJ Hill. That would be kind of a fun matchup. Maybe that's what I would do. But at the same time, I don't know, man. Like he's a rookie. He's very green. The Chargers have a really good, wide receiver core. Kind of a wait and see with him as well. And then Trayvon Mullen, who I think got hurt last year, so we didn't see a lot of him. Very, very okay cornerback. But again, if you match him up against, one of our, main three targets, Hunter Henry and Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, I think we're going to win that matchup there too. So kind of exposed in the secondary a little bit, kind of a wait and see, at the second level with the middle linebackers, or I should say the linebacker core as a group. And then finally, to round out the defensive backs, you got two pretty decent ones here. And Maurice Randall coming in from the Cleveland Browns. I think before that he was with the Green Bay Packers. And he's decent. He's pretty good. Maybe a size mismatch, though. So kind of one of those guys that I want to attack with Mike Williams. I think he could win that matchup. But again, he's pretty good playing deep. Maybe against the run, not so much in run support. So there's Demarius Randall. Then finally, last player on this, Jonathan Abram, who I also think got hurt. Maybe this was the guy. This guy's pretty aggressive. So what do you do when somebody's over-aggressive and over-pursuits? You make sure you line them up with somebody that's good in route running. You make sure you line them up with somebody that's got moves like Austin Eckler. So I think, again, we've got the weapons to attack guys. Maybe they're good in one area, but weak against the guys that we have on our offense. So guys, in the comment section below, what do you guys think we're going to do against the Raiders? I'm hoping this is the year, man. I know that we've underperformed in the past couple, or maybe it's just last year, but I think, honestly, my prediction, I think we sweep the Raiders this year. I think this is the opponent that we can, push down into the basement, make sure that we're not down there. I'm pretty sure, we can push them into that position. And this is the one team I do think that we're very well equipped to go up against. And honestly, on paper, we should sweep them, in my opinion. Well, guys, let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Thank you so much for joining me. Hit the like and sub button if you do enjoy this content. We'll see you next time. And as always, bolt up and stay frosty.